Hidden behind the weathered doors of an old wooden barn sat a machine that time had almost erased. Dust covered every surface, vines wrapped around its rusted body, and flat tires had sunk deep into the earth after decades of neglect. Sunlight filtered through broken roof panels, revealing what was once a proud American muscle car. Many people would have looked at this forgotten vehicle and seen nothing more than scrap metal. But true restoration is about seeing potential where others only see decay. Every dent tells a story, every layer of rust marks the passage of time, and every abandoned classic deserves one final chance to return to the road. As we carefully opened the barn doors, years of silence were broken. The smell of old wood, rust, and engine oil filled the air. Cobwebs stretched across the windshield, while leaves and dirt had collected inside the cabin. The original paint had faded beyond recognition, chrome parts were badly corroded, and nearly every rubber seal had cracked with age. The engine had not turned over in decades, and the interior looked almost impossible to save. Yet beneath all of that damage remained the unmistakable shape of a legendary muscle car. The restoration journey began with a complete inspection. Every inch of the vehicle was photographed and documented before any work started. This step is essential because it preserves the original design and helps guide every stage of the rebuild. Careful planning saves countless hours later in the project and ensures that nothing important is overlooked. The first major task was removing decades of dirt and grime. High-pressure water blasted away thick layers of mud, dust, bird droppings, and debris that had hidden the true condition of the body. As the dirt disappeared, the extent of the rust became clear. Large sections of the floor had completely rusted through, the rocker panels were severely weakened, and several body panels were beyond repair. Every removable component was carefully labeled and organized. The doors, hood, trunk lid, bumpers, glass, trim, suspension, wiring, and interior were removed one piece at a time. Organization is one of the most important parts of a professional restoration because every bolt, bracket, and clip has a specific place when final assembly begins. With the body stripped down to its bare shell, sandblasting removed decades of corrosion and exposed clean metal underneath. Some panels were strong enough to save, while others required complete replacement. Skilled fabricators cut away damaged steel and welded in precision-made repair panels. Every weld was carefully ground smooth until the repaired areas became almost invisible. After structural repairs were complete, the body entered one of the most time-consuming stages of restoration. Thin layers of body filler were applied only where necessary, then shaped by hand using long sanding blocks. This process was repeated again and again until every panel became perfectly straight. Restoring classic cars is not about rushing. It is about patience, precision, and attention to detail. Once the body was flawless, a protective epoxy primer sealed the metal from moisture and corrosion. After curing, the car received several rounds of guide coating and block sanding to ensure every curve and body line matched the factory design. The result was a perfectly prepared surface ready for paint. Inside the paint booth, the transformation truly began. A sealer coat created the perfect foundation before multiple layers of rich candy apple red paint were applied with precision spray equipment. Each coat was allowed to flash before the next one followed. Finally, several coats of crystal-clear automotive clear coat locked in the color and created incredible depth and shine. Even after painting, the work was far from finished. The cured finish was wet sanded using extremely fine abrasives before being polished in multiple stages. Hours of machine polishing produced a mirror-like reflection that made the paint appear almost liquid under the lights. While the body reached showroom quality, another team focused on rebuilding the heart of the car. The original V8 engine was completely disassembled. Every piston, bearing, crankshaft, cylinder head, valve, and gasket was inspected. Worn components were replaced with high-quality parts, while reusable components were cleaned and refinished to factory specifications. The freshly rebuilt engine was carefully assembled using precision measurements and proper torque specifications. Every seal, hose, belt, and gasket was replaced to ensure long-term reliability. The completed engine looked as beautiful as the freshly painted body surrounding it. Attention then shifted underneath the vehicle. New suspension components restored the car's original handling, while upgraded brakes improved safety without sacrificing its classic appearance. Stainless steel fuel lines, brake lines, and a brand new exhaust system completed the mechanical restoration. Every system was rebuilt with reliability in mind, while preserving the spirit of the original vehicle. Inside the cabin, the transformation was equally dramatic. The worn carpets disappeared, replaced with fresh materials that perfectly matched the original specifications. New leather seats restored both comfort and elegance. The dashboard, steering wheel, gauges, switches, and chrome trim were carefully restored until they looked exactly as they did when the car first left the factory decades ago. With every system complete, final assembly could begin. The polished chrome bumpers, restored grille, factory emblems, weather seals, mirrors, windows, and trim pieces were installed with meticulous care. Brand new wheels and performance tires completed the aggressive stance of the classic muscle car. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Fresh engine oil, coolant, transmission fluid, and brake fluid filled every system. After one final inspection, the battery was connected. The ignition key slowly turned for the first time in decades. The starter motor engaged. For a brief moment there was silence. Then, the rebuilt V8 engine came roaring back to life. The deep exhaust note echoed through the workshop, filling the building with excitement. After years of sitting forgotten, this legendary machine was alive once again. The final detailing stage elevated the restoration to another level. The paint received one last polish. Every chrome surface was hand-finished. The glass became crystal clear, and the engine bay sparkled under the lights. There was almost no trace of the neglected vehicle that had been pulled from the abandoned barn. As the garage door opened, sunlight reflected across the flawless paintwork for the very first time. The restored muscle car rolled slowly onto the road, powerful, elegant, and ready for a new chapter. It wasn't simply repaired, it had been completely reborn. This restoration reminds us that history is worth preserving. Behind every abandoned vehicle is a story waiting to be told, and with enough dedication, skill, and patience, even the most forgotten classics can return to their former glory. Thank you for watching this incredible restoration journey from rust to perfection. If you enjoyed seeing every step of this transformation, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next restoration adventure. There's always another forgotten legend waiting to be brought back to life.